Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking about Ray Harryhausen. So let's get started. So the basics of this animator, his name is Ray Harryhausen. He was born on June 29th of 1920. He did, however, die on May 7th of 2013, which would have made him about 93 years old. This picture over here is of Ray, and he's just creating some of his work that we'll be talking about later. Ray's background, where did he grow up? He grew up in Los Angeles, California, which is in the United States of America. Some schooling Ray did was that he went or attended Los Angeles City College and the University of Southern California. Places he visited, there were many places, especially his hometown, among others throughout the United States. But definitely one to note is London, England, and that is where he actually passed away. Some mentors that Ray definitely had or influenced him was definitely Willis O'Brien, who was working at MGM at the time. The picture on the right is of Willis O'Brien and Ray, and they're working, I believe, on The Lost World, which is one of his films. Some inspirations or famous animators of Ray was inspired by Willis O'Brien, who was an animator at MGM, and he was actually hired by George Paul from Parliament, who was also a well-known animator at the time. Work or well-known animators, as I mentioned before, Willis O'Brien and George Paul. But during World War II, Ray was called to military duty, serving in the 1st Motion Picture Unit, and he also worked closely with his business partner, Charles Schooner, for more than 25 years, and they created 12 feature films together. Some major events or shifts in his life, I think, was definitely going to college, working with his idol/mentor, Willis O'Brien, and going to military duty because he created propaganda films and stop-motion effects, which he is well known for. The picture on the right is of Ray and George Paul, who hired him at the time. Styles of work that Ray definitely did was that he favored stop-motion animation. He used the term dynamation, which is rear screen projection, projecting a film behind the actors to serve as a background, mates, or blocked off areas, and double exposures to combine live action and animation. This is on page 196 in the textbook. Some particular animation techniques that Ray focused on was definitely in the film Jason and the Argonauts, where he used skeletons, and they were made out of puppets so that if children were watching, it wasn't as violent. The puppets were 8 to 10 inches high, and this is also on page 197 in the textbook. Some artistic styles, or just a style in general, was definitely that he focused on mid-century. The picture on the right is of Ray and some of the animations he created in the background. He is definitely known as a special effects titan, which I thought was a really cool name. Some well-known animations that Ray created was definitely Jason and the Argonauts in 1963, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad in 1958, The Lost World in 1925, and King Kong in 1933. He did create many others. Some that we might be familiar with when we were younger was definitely Little Red Riding Hood in 1950, and The Story of Hansel and Gretel in 1951. Some awards that Ray received was while he was working with his idol O'Brien, who assisted him on the feature Mighty Joe Young, directed by Ernest Schoenstrack in 1949. The film actually won an Oscar for Best Special Effects. The two pictures, starting up with the first one on the top, is of Ray and some of the figurines he created in front of him. And then on the bottom one is of his most famous one, Jason and the Argonauts, which was created in 1963. And those are the skeletons fighting off the warrior. So that concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, learned a lot, and thank you.